Hello, it's Sadie. I wanted to come on and do this video. This is a spiritual talk. It's going to be titled Sacred Sensuality, Ascension, Love, and Dating. All right. So I actually tried to film this around Valentine's Day, but energetically, I was just not in a space where I was really connecting to the energy in a way where I wanted to do a video. And so I didn't do it. And then today it popped back up into my awareness and I was guided to do it. And I was like, why today of all days? And then I looked at the astrology and Venus entered into the sign of Taurus today. And so Venus is the ruler of Taurus, all right? Venus is the Empress, the divine feminine, planet of love and romance and beauty and art and sensuality, is in the sign of Taurus, which is all about, earth energy, pleasure, abundance, really, really coming into an energy of pleasure. So this astrological cycle right now, which lasts from today until April 10th, is all about pleasure. All right. In a big, big way. With the Empress energy too, it's like your natural attraction abilities, your natural magnetism, your inner light, your inner glow, your divine feminine energy, all of these things are going to be activated in a much stronger way right now. Some of you are feeling a lot of desire, a lot of passion, a lot of sensuality. And that is because Venus is in Taurus and it sort of makes you want to seek pleasure. It makes you want to feel pleasure in all ways, pleasures of the flesh, pleasures of the senses. Doesn't have to be physical intimacy. And I'm going to use that word because I know like YouTube is being very sort of strict about what you can say and what you can show. So I'll just use physical intimacy. But this is a time where many, both male and female, it doesn't matter because we all have inner divine feminine energy, is sort of like fertile and wanting to come out and play, all right? This is also because we are shifting timelines. We are like right at the end of this astrological year, finishing up the last couple days of Pisces season and then moving into the equinox in Aries season, which begins on March 20th. And that's going to be a big timeline shift for many of us, okay? This is ending a new beginning energy with the 10. We also have, with Aries season, the Ace of Wands. That is virility, that is passion, that is a life force energy. And so, Aries is ruled by the planet Mars. Mars, yes, is the ruler of war, but Mars is also the ruler of sex. And so this energy of arousal and having the senses aroused is going to be very, 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 very strong, okay? A lot of you are going to have spontaneous Kundalini activations if you haven't already had one. Others of you are just going to have like this sort of overflow of joy and bliss and happiness with the Ace of Cups coming out. But there's a lot of new energy coming in. There's a lot of new beginnings coming through with the timeline shifts. And I'm using the Wheel of Fortune as the timeline because it's ruled by Saturn, which is Father Time. Saturn rules time. Other than being the Lord of Karma, Saturn rules time, all right? It's Chronos. So it's all about time and cycles of time. So with these timeline shifts, many are going to come into union with a divine counterpart or union with another soul that they have contracted with, that they have karma to clear and balance in this lifetime. We also have the energy of the Two of Cups, which is connecting in a very, very physical way. And so There's a lot of love, there's a lot of romance, there's a lot of sensuality, there's a lot of passion and desire in the air during this next like month, especially. Also, with the timeline shifts, many who have kind of been in hermit mode, have been maybe on their own for a while, you're gonna see as you're kind of just naturally embodying more of your divine feminine energy, people are going to be very, very attracted to you. It's almost like flies, you know, to, or like moths to a light, or bees to honey. You're going to just start noticing like more attention, more compliments, more flirting, more playfulness. And so with that energy too, for some of you, it's going to bring in multiple options, multiple romantic options for you, okay? And again, with the Empress, she's the divine feminine, but she manifests easily and effortlessly because she's in that energy of attraction. There's only flow. There's no resistance to what's coming in. And so because of that, this could be a very abundant time for love and dating and romance for many of you. Again, some of you, it is going to be related to your divine counterpart and really coming into union in a way that you've never been in union with your person before. But for others of you, it's about new beginnings. It's about new energy. It's about new people coming in. And so however this energy and this time plays out for you, why it's important for me to do this video is because Spirit wanted me to kind of share a couple of things. You know, number one size does not fit all. That is something that I'm always being told on my spiritual path. You know, what resonates for you may not resonate for me, and vice versa, and it's okay. Do what feels good to you in your heart and your soul. And you know, don't try to make anything fit just because, you know, I'm saying to make it fit, or you, another reader or another channel or someone else that you watch or listen to, or someone in your environment says this is what you should do. You always should follow your own heart, your own soul, and your own guidance first and foremost, okay? So one size does not fit all. The other thing I wanted to say is, when you are out and meeting people, it is really, really important, again, to trust yourself. Really trust what you feel around a certain person. Do they make you feel alive? Do they make you feel happy and uplifted? Do they bring you a lot of joy and pleasure? These are important energies to pick up on and pay attention to and to observe when you're interacting with someone. On the flip side, do they make you feel drained? Do they make you feel anxious? Do they make you feel fear or a little bit of uncomfortableness? Again, these are things to pay attention to when you are on your ascension path and you want to sort of embark on love and dating experiences with others. Trust the vibe. The vibe doesn't lie. Listen to yourself. Don't ignore a red flag or, you know, an instinct just because you think you're maybe like overreacting or you're judging something. Really, really important to use your discernment, okay? Because one of the things that I learned the hard way, but also that Spirit was really insistent about telling me was, you know, just because someone is spiritual doesn't mean they're not a narcissist, doesn't mean they're not toxic, doesn't mean they're not dark energy, you know. So it's just really, really important to, regardless of how someone presents themselves, to listen to your own instincts and guidance about them and how they make you feel. And, you know, again, pay attention to if you feel like your energy is drained around them, because that is super, super important. There's a lot of energetic vampires. There's a lot of, you know, just people who seem one way but really aren't that way. And it's easy to be deceived, especially if someone's coming off as spiritual. You know, maybe they meditate, maybe they do yoga, maybe they're in the law of attraction and stuff like that. But there's different types of spirituality. And so you just have to know what works and what resonates for you and what feels good to you. All right. So with that, let's kind of get into it. I feel like this is going to be a part one of more than one video, but right now I'm only getting kind of guidance and downloads about these specific topics that I'm going to bring up in this video. So first, let's talk about dating, like actually going out, meeting people, being around people. Number one, always really important to have strong energetic protection around you when you are going to interact with a new person. Even if you feel very comfortable around them, it's just important to protect your energy. You can use the bubble of white light, surrounding yourself in a bubble of white light. You can call upon Archangel Michael and the blue flame to surround and shield you from any lower or negative energies. You can also, there's a lot of Merkaba protection meditations on YouTube. The Merkaba, like when you activate your Merkaba, it is a very, very protective shield. You just want to make sure that you're really protecting your energy. Again, because sometimes things are not what they seem. Sometimes people are not what they seem. And you can find yourself in situations where your energy is being siphoned by someone who can see your light and feel your light and is not around you for the highest intentions or the highest reasons, okay? The other thing I wanted to bring through as well is when you are out and about, when you're dating, when you're meeting new people, really observe their behavior, observe their mannerisms. It's important to kind of listen to them talk, ask them questions about themselves, just to kind of see how they seem in certain situations, and, you know, observe their mannerisms, because so much communication is nonverbal, okay? You know, we say a lot of words, but we also speak volumes with the things that we don't say, as well as our mannerisms and our body language. And so really, really important when you are meeting someone, connecting with someone, to just observe them. Just kind of like sit back and observe them. Be like the Empress, like, you know, be calm and cool, but just really observe how they are, how they're interacting with you. Because even just observing them, you'll pick up a lot of psychic information, and that'll help you determine whether or not that's someone that you want to pursue something with or someone that you don't, okay? The other thing I wanted to say about dating and love on the ascension path is you can always ask your guides to kind of give you signs and synchronicities if someone is going to be like a good partner or a good match for you. You know, your spiritual team, they're there to assist you every step of the way. And so don't just think that they're there just to help you, like, in terms of protection or in terms of, growing your own spiritual gifts. Like, they're there for everything. You can literally ask your angels and your guides for like a better parking space. Like, there's no prayer that's too minimal. There's nothing that you can say or do that kind of will make them be like, oh, why are they asking me this? That's not, they're your team, they're your guides, they love you unconditionally. And so when it comes to dating and love on this ascension path, work with your team. They want you to build that level of trust and connection with them. And sometimes that's the best way to like really start to hone into like the messages and your guidance and your intuition, is just asking them like really small questions or simple things like, hey, what do you give me some insight about this person, or is this a good person for me to go on a date with? Like, you'll get the answer. So your spiritual team wants to work with you, wants to be connected with you in every way. And so again, there's no prayer or request that's too big or too small to them. They're just happy to assist you. They love you unconditionally. And so really work with them if you are dating, especially for those who are online dating, because, it's not as easy to get out all the time and do stuff. Luckily, we're not as restricted as we used to be, at least for some of us in some areas. But still, life is busy. We are in a digital age. And so a lot of people meet and connect online. And sometimes it is harder to pick up someone's energy online than it is talking to them or seeing them face to face. So you can ask your guides and your guidance about anyone that you meet online or talking to online if you're considering dating them. All right, so with that, let's get into physical intimacy, all right? Again, I don't know if I can say sex on YouTube, like, okay, so, some people, think that physical intimacy is something that you should not do on the spiritual path. My guides are always saying that your body is sacred. And if you hold that vibration of knowing your body is sacred, knowing your sensuality is sacred, and you use it in that way, that physical intimacy is a sacred and sensual and beautiful act of connection with another. So there is nothing wrong with it, unless you're using it just for pleasure's sake, unless you're just using it for feeling good about yourself or feeling good in the moment. That's when it's like addictive, and that's when it's, you're only connecting with your lower chakras. But if you're using it in a way to expand yourself spiritually, or really connect with your life force energy, or tap into your creative energy, especially with a partner that you really connect with on a soul level or on a heart level, there's nothing wrong with that, okay? So for those who are on their ascension path, who are, going through their work and doing all their healing work and and sort of trying to find what works for them. If you feel called to date and to be with people, date and mate with others, like, listen to that calling. You don't have to deny yourself. You're not any less spiritual than anybody else. For me personally, I chose a path of celibacy because I noticed that I had a pattern of, and this was part of my shadow that I've been healing, would be like to be in a relationship and stay in a relationship and sort of pour all my energy into the relationship or into the person as a way of distracting myself from not working on my own stuff. And so me knowing that about myself and recognizing that pattern, I chose not to date, and I chose just to focus on healing my stuff, working on myself. For me, it's been easier to be on my own and to not date and to choose a path of celibacy. But again, that is not everybody's path, and it doesn't make me more sacred than anybody else. Really, one of the most spiritual people, one of the most psychic people I've ever met is someone who has multiple partners, but is very honest about who they are and who they're with. And there's no secrets, there's no lies. They're just very upfront about who they are. This person smokes like maybe a pack of cigarettes a day or more, and they curse like a sailor. And like they're like one of the most psychic, one of the most spiritual people that I've ever met, because they really have integrated in their spirit, their higher self, really truly tuned in and connected, but also just sort of like a free spirit and just says, this is me, this is the way I want to live my life. While I'm in the physical for this blip of a second in this world, this is who I am and this is how I want to be. And so again, there's no judgment. This is a judgment-free zone, especially because one size does not fit all. And I've met people who, meditate every day and are vegan and still have like a lot of shadow and a lot of hatred and a lot of anger within them. And the person I'm talking about, I'm not going to say his name, but he's like literally just pure joy. He's like a kid. He's like he's like a 60-year-old kid, but he is pure joy and he radiates it. And so again, it's not about what you do so much, it's more how you do it. Okay. But with that, it is important when you are dating, when you are meeting others, to be physically intimate with a person, or if you're into, if you don't practice monogamy, and you have multiple partners, choose partners that you could love. Meaning you're not just choosing a partner because you're physically attracted to someone or because you have, a couple things in common with them. Really choose partners to be physically intimate with that you could love or know you could have a long-term situation with if it came to that. Doesn't mean that it's going to, but when you're choosing from that space, you're choosing from, again, the higher chakras. You're choosing from the heart instead of the lower chakras. And that's really important because the quality of the connection will be stronger in terms of the vibration will be higher. Because we're always creating. This is part of the energy that we're coming into with the Empress energy sort of coming online. both in men and women, everyone's going to be more magnetic, which means you're going to manifest easier. But again, manifestations can be like what you don't want. And so something my guides are always telling me is the higher the vibration, the higher the outcome. And you can easily manifest when you are physically intimate with someone. And so you just want to kind of have it. You want to have the vibration high. You want to have your vibration high. You want to be around partners whose vibrations radiate similar to yours. And in that physical act, understand that you're creating a huge pool of energy that you can manifest from. And so again, you just want to keep the vibration high. For those who are coming in to union with your twin flame, you're going to notice that during this period of time, especially if you have previously been physically intimate with them, one of the messages that Spirit was saying was like, it's going to go to the next level. That level of intimacy, that level of connection, body, mind, heart, soul, everything, it's just going to move to the next level and it's going to be more intense. Same thing goes with, partners that are not your twin flame that you may physically become intimate with during this period, but just everything the intensity is amped up, okay? So, because the energy is amped up. And so it's going to bring things to a more intense level. That's also a reason why you only want to be physically intimate with someone who you could love or someone you could see yourself with long term. Because, how do I say this? Okay. You've heard the expression beer goggles, right? Like when you're drinking or when you're out partying and you're kind of intoxicated, people might seem or look more attractive than they actually are. Well, the energy that we're coming into, because it's so heightened, kind of gives you could say love goggles or lust goggles. And so when things are like at a 10 or at a 20, when you're physically intimate with someone and it's like, wow, that like was like mind-blowing experience that we just had. If it's not someone that you could be long-term with, or you think you could be long-term with, you're going to kind of put on your lust goggles and sort of try to make it fit, even if it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? So it's just really important during this time. We're coming into the astrological new year. It's going to be a very good new year for many people. The one thing too, interestingly enough, with the Pluto in Aquarius transit that we're coming into this month as well, is Pluto rules sex too. Pluto is about sex because it is Scorpio energy. So, I mean, things could be very intense, very hot, very heavy. Your greatest fantasies, your greatest desires fulfilled. And so, again, you just want to be with someone that like you could actually have something real with, because if not, it could become a very toxic and a very karmic connection, okay? That's the gentlest way that I can put it. What else did I want to bring through? Spirit, what else did you want me to bring through? I wrote down a couple things. And the other thing too is, because it is a new timeline, because there is more energy, this is a very fertile time. So, one of the attorneys I used to work for used to say this all the time: party like a rock star, but wear a helmet. And so I am saying the same. If you're not looking to conceive or have a child, or become a parent, if you're not a parent already, or if you're still at an age where you can biologically, or you're in a situation where you could, you just play responsibly. Be mindful of, with timeline shifting and new souls wanting to come in to the new earth that we're building. This is a very, very fertile time for babies. All right. So that is also something I wanted to bring through. Even for those, I'm hearing, even for those who have wanted to get pregnant and couldn't before, this could be your time. So just pay attention to that, okay? What else? The other thing too is going back to what I said about, only being physically intimate with someone that you could love, or someone that you could be with long term, or feel that you could be with long term. When you are physically intimate with someone, you do, it's called, you can say a cord, you do form a cord with them, or a soul tie. And sometimes these soul ties allow you to absorb their energy in a way that you maybe wouldn't want to take on. Everything is energy. And so when you're physically intimate with someone, you could take on even like illnesses, negative traits, negative patterning, and other issues that they may have. We also have to understand, because everything is energy, that there is an entire non-physical world and unseen realms that we are also interacting with at all times. And so it's just really, really important, because you could take on something that you wouldn't want. And I'm not talking about an STI. I'm talking about other things energetically that could attach to you and sort of absorb your energy when you're with someone that you maybe shouldn't be physically intimate with. I'll give you some examples. So your body will tell you if someone is physically compatible for you or not. This was way before I was on my ascension path. I was in my early 20s and I was dating someone, and I had never had an issue before this person, and I actually haven't had an issue since this person. But during the course of this relationship, I would get frequent UTIs. And now I know that my body was just like, this person's not compatible for you at all. So if you notice that you are intimate with someone and you don't have a history of UTIs, but you start getting UTIs, you don't have a history of, getting any sort of like rashes, panic attacks, you start having physical symptoms with this person or around this person, or even just like feeling like not well. And it has nothing to do with, again, contracting anything. It just has to do with your body telling you this is not your person. Okay. So really, really pay attention to that as well. That's for both men and women, because again, your body will tell you who and what is compatible for you and who and what is not. And oftentimes they'll tell you that someone's not compatible for you by making you sick or giving you some sort of like physical ailment that you maybe never had before. So really, really, really pay attention to your body during this time too, because the body is ascending as well. And your body is highly intuitive, highly psychic, because our bodies are 80% water and the cells have memory, and everything's always interacting and talking to each other within the body. So you'll know if someone is good for you or not just by how your body feels around them. Okay. And the rashes, when I'm talking about rashes, it could just even be like rashes on the arm, rashes around the mouth. Again, it doesn't have to be related to any disease. This is not about fear-based anything. It's just about really listening to your intuition, listening to your body, to help you determine like who's a good partner or who's a good person for you to be with or not. Okay. Again, it's just really, really important, because there's going to be more emphasis on pleasure, because there's going to be more opportunities to connect with others during this time. It's just really, really important to, again, always trust yourself, really listen to your body, listen to your instincts, listen to your feelings, and sort of check your energy when you're with someone. How are they making you feel? And not just by what they're saying, but pay attention to what they're doing, and pay attention to if your energy always feels drained around them. That's another thing too, is like, unless you're having like a marathon night with someone, okay, I gotta be as PC as possible for YouTube now. So that's okay. You're doing all the positions of the Kama Sutra and you feel drained, like that's a normal reason to feel drained. But say you like had coffee and you had a great night's sleep, and then you go out with someone and you feel completely drained, and you're only around them for a few hours and you guys weren't even physically intimate, like that's a huge telltale sign that that person may not be a good partner or a good fit for you. Okay. Anything else I want to bring through this video? No, I think that was it for now. Again, party like a rock star, but wear a helmet. Enjoy this time. Choose whatever path is best for you. Allow yourself to be loved. It is important to love your body, to be in your body, to be in your physical body. And again, your sensuality is sacred. And so start looking at it as something sacred. Look at yourself as something sacred, you know, because when you do, to kind of shift your perspective and your perception of things and help you to really connect with what's sacred, what's meaningful, and what's valuable for you on your ascension path, but also in your life. Life is meant to be enjoyed, something my guides are always telling me. And so many of our ascension paths have been really hard, mine included, where there's not a lot of joy and there's not a lot of fun. And this is a time where that energy can really be balanced out through connecting with others. Okay, so I hope this video helped whoever needed to hear some of these things, and I'm sending all my love, lots of powerful energy during this time. Just stay grounded and balanced, and all will be well. Take care.